What's good, Mick? Man, we back for another one, man. It's a little crazy, man. But thank y'all for another episode of the Checkdown, man. Uh, man, hey, it's some things that happened this weekend, Mick. Man, these last couple of weeks, man. We took a week off last week with much action, but some people done got cut. Some people on the trade block, franchise tag. It's a lot
Yeah.
going on, man. It's a lot of turnover. But how you feeling about your team? What's going on, man, on the front end on your side?
I mean, I'm feeling good, man. I mean, we got the most cap space in the league, man. We got over $100 million to spend on the cap. So, I mean, I'm feeling good. I mean, about my team and just seeing what's going on in the league, seeing some players getting franchise tag. Some players they're saying they're not going franchise. There's been a whole bunch of news going on the last 2 weeks. So, yeah.
Yeah, man, we done cut a few people. Kevin Bayard got cut yesterday. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I think we finna make some turnover, man. We got the availability to get about $60 million in cap space before we open up this free agency. I think Howie finna be aggressive in free agency, as he said. Uh, I could see the Eagles being a totally different team next year, man. Really going into the beginning of the season. I think some of the core pieces will still be here. Uh, I think I and don't quote me on this. I heard this through the grapevines, but I heard we offered Hassan Reddick 22 million to try to come back. Um, so I guess he gonna see what the people out in the world say. Oh, big news! Mike Evans will be testing free agency.
Yeah, I mean, so they weren't going to like that's the funny thing. I thought they was not going to let that man go. I thought it was at least going to hit him with a franchise tag, and if they couldn't come to some agreement, they trade him. But I mean, I guess they gonna give him his wish to go into free agency, see what he want to do. If I was them, I'd be scared he'd go to a team like the Texans. Man, Texans got a lot of money. Texans got a need for wide receiver. He from Texas. I mean, kind of dicey, man.
It's a sticky situation because it's like one of those situations like, dang, I didn't think Mike Evans would leave Tampa, but I think for the right number on the right team with the ability to compete for another ring, like he got one, but if he can get the opportunity to get a second one, that could be crucial, dog. Like, and the Texans kind of lining it up to look good, and they got some more money to spend this year, so they can go add some more pieces on top of a Mike Evans. You know what I mean? They can go solidify the defense a little bit more. They can add some pieces to the line or whatever they want. They can pretty much do what they want to too. You know what I'm saying? To
I
build
mean,
off of a successful season.
yeah, I mean, like they're also when talking to Saquon, from what all the reports say, they're saying that Saquon don't stay in New York. I mean, Saquon want to go to Houston. So, I mean,
Getting
but I
Saquon and Mike Evans could be crazy, man.
Yeah, and and then they still got their draft capital, man. Like they got the Browns first round pick and they got all the other picks. So they got the capital, they got the quarterback under like they have the formula to be a really good team for the next 3 to 5 years. I mean, so you just gotta watch out for them. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, like Mike Evans thing surprised me because like the Tampa Bay, they won a division for the third year in a row. They made it to the divisional round. And then I thought with a couple tweaks in the roster, like a couple more pieces on offense and defense, I mean, and you never know.
yeah, it's a crazy dynamic. But if you get Mike Evans, you somehow get Saquon, boy, that changes. And now you got a 1-2 punch at the running back. You got three solid receivers, decent tight end and Schultz. You got a
Well, I mean, the Schultz
potential.
I mean, Schultz a
Uh,
free agent too, but that's the only thing though.
ooh, they might have to sign Schultz back. But I mean, if you
Yeah.
get Saquon and Mike Evans, we can go get a decent tight end for the low. We ain't got to get the top tier tight end no more. We can get one for the low ski at that point. He just a check down man. He ain't gonna even be a big part of the offense with all them boys out there, man. To be honest, it's just gonna be
Yeah.
too much. It's gonna be too much. You don't need a top guy. Hey, but before we move on, man, I like to thank all the people out here, man. You know what I'm saying? For supporting us every week, coming in, chilling with us, hanging out. Uh, we monetize, man. So super chats are available. If you want to help support the channel, we finna try to start doing some giveaways or something, man. To show some type of appreciation. I'm probably gonna have to do multiple because I'm on multiple shows, but um, just try to do something for the people, man. Maybe a jersey giveaway or see how much it would cost for us to, maybe put in on a, a ticket for one of these people that support us every week, man. That's out here. mean, I know you can get we can get you a decent ticket somewhere. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna pay for your flight. You're paying for your flight. I might. I mean, but just something to social appreciation, man. Y'all been out here all season long, man. Y'all finna ride out for the off season too. So, you know what I'm saying? We want to thank y'all for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's been I mean, like we started mid-season, so I mean, I think we've been doing this pod since what, October, right? Somewhere around
Yeah.
October. So we started know the season. We made it through the season. Now we're in the off season. Now we're at the combine. Free agency about to pop off. Franchise tag about the deadline is on Tuesday. So yeah, I mean, like we, you know, what I mean, like we're gonna be taking you through the whole off season and into the new year too. So
Yeah. Hey, look, what you think about I heard some rumors like maybe T. Higgins might be on the trade block. The franchise tag might have just been so they didn't get it, they ain't losing for free.
well, I've been saying that, like I've been saying for months they're going to franchise him, which I was right about. Now, I never said it's going to keep him on the team. I never said that. I just know they can't let him walk out the door and don't get nothing but a third round comp pick. So for me, I think they're going to try to tag him and keep him. I think they want to make one more run at it. I think that's their goal. Because Joe Burrow got hurt last year, so I just think they're going to try to keep him. Because I mean, like, honestly, like Joe Burrow's extension don't kick in. They don't even kick in the 2024 season year or whatever. So I mean, like they got 60 million in cap, so they got enough cap to keep him on the tag. So I think they're going to try to keep him, make one more run at it, and after that, I think they're going to either try to trade Higgins or they're going to just let him walk after that. I think so.
So what they gonna do at wide receiver 3 now? Because I heard they're not bringing back Tyler Boyd.
I think it depends how much Boyd commands on the market. Like they could just they drafted a couple kids last year in the draft. Can't remember the names off the top of my head, but they were actually pretty productive for them last year. They're going to be going into their second year. So with Tyler Boyd, I just think you can replace his production. If you feel like you can't, then you can always draft a wide receiver in this draft in like maybe the second, third round, and you could try to find your slot guy pretty much.
Listen, with all the rumor mill about the Eagles, I'm kind of scared for Howie Roseman at 22, bro.
Why is that?
Because I just feel like he's gonna have such a good start to the offseason, in my opinion, that the draft is gonna be criticized more if you make a mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You said you're gonna be aggressive, so I'm assuming you going out to talk to some of the top guys to try to put money in their pocket to bring them to the Philadelphia Eagles to make us more productive, right? Once you do that and you fill in some of the holes that are remaining, they're gonna expect you to strike gold in the draft. While Jordan Davis still, people still looking at him a little sideways, even though they don't look at the whole story, whatever. They look at he was a first round pick, he was top 15. He need to put in more production, right? You take it, so I'm looking at it like, is Howie gonna be safe in the draft? I could see my GM like really going to get like an offensive lineman, bro, like a center. Like just being honest, like if he don't know if Kelsey is back, and we look at the situation of Jeff Stoutland say, I'm comfortable with Cam Jurgens at right guard. I can see Howie taking a safe pick and going and getting the best center available that Jeff Stoutland wants. You know what I mean? Like, and putting him in there just to kind of not fuck up.
Yeah, but you're talking the best center. He going in the first round. JPJ out of Oregon. He definitely going first round. He might not even make it to 22. To be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest. So if you don't get a center first round, like I think the next best center is the kid out of Georgia, and I don't think he going until like the late second, third round. So I mean that does open up your first round, like your day one draft pick in terms of the first round. I mean, I've been seeing you guys mocked to corner a lot. I mean, y'all do have a need at corner, and there's a bunch of corners. I mean, like I mean, watching the
that's what I was kind of saying though.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying though. Like, if he go, say for instance, he go out and let's just say he pulled Jalen Johnson. All those mocks change.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. So like, let's say he signs, say Jalen don't get franchised by the Bears, and y'all sign him to a lucrative deal or whatever, and y'all cut Bradbury, whatever. I mean, you still need another corner though. Like you corners get hurt. Like I
We
mean,
got
like
Ricks and Ringo, and we got one coming off IR. Shit.
I mean, I'm a Georgia fan, and I'm not a Ringo guy. I never understood why he
I
came back.
don't think they'll punch on him until the new DB coach see them
And I
actually
think
put in some work.
Ringo would be a better safety. Honestly, I've been saying it since the combine last year. Me and a couple other people. Like, I just think his career going to be at safety. He's going to be a lot better at safety than corner. I mean, Ringo was cool. I'm just saying, like, I ain't saying you got to add a corner in the first round. After what I seen from the DBs last night at the combine, I mean, there's a lot of good dudes like at playing that's coming into the league in the draft. So you don't got to take it in the first round. I just think you got to being in that 20 to 25 slot range. You got to kind of see how the draft going. I mean, if there's already a run on tackle,
You just got to know Howie, J Mick. Howie will listen. Howie took Andre Dillard due to production, not due to need. You get what I'm saying? Like but he was trying to be safe. So he was like, let me get Dillard. People won't complain. He gonna be here 10 years down the line. People will be like, he's a great pick. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but I mean, Dillard wasn't a great pick though. That's the thing, though.
It was not. But just thinking like Howie, he thought it's a safe pick. It's easy
And
pick.
I just think there's too much in this draft there's too much talent in this draft to be taking a safe pick, like in terms of doing something because you're taking a guy for production in college. I just think this is not one of them drafts where there's a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. So you get yourself a receiver, get yourself a corner, a tackle, whatever. Like there's enough talent in a lot of different positions where at 22 you don't got to go safe.
Listen, honest to God, truth. I hope we're able to fill whatever needs we want to in free agency. So I wouldn't hope against that. But I hope, like, at some point, somehow, we still end up taking some type of young defensive player at a skill position like safety, linebacker, cornerback. I don't think I really want linebacker in the first. I think a couple of those linebackers like showed out kind of a little bit at the little combine or whatever. And I think their pro day is probably gonna be a little better too. So I mean, I could see this, Edrin Cooper, I could see Wilson, like those guys kind of making a big jump. Hey, did you watch the linebackers?
Yeah, I watched.
What you think about that linebacker out of Temple?
What's his name?
Morgan, or it's like Moorgen.
I mean, he's not one of the guys that caught my eye though. Like, I mean, I watched it, but there was a couple of dudes that caught my eye. He wasn't one of them. Not to say that he wasn't good, like, because I'm gonna rewatch the combine like probably next week. Yeah, I mean the name, like the kids sound familiar because there's only so many kids that's gonna be coming out from Temple in the draft this year. But yeah, I mean, I just got to rewatch it. But yeah, I mean the linebacker class, like I wasn't going into the combine and going into the Senior Bowl and all that. I wasn't too enthused about it. But like seeing some of these dudes at the Senior Bowl, watching some of their tape and watching the combine, like I mean, linebacker class is actually better than I thought it was going to be, actually. So.
And the dude from Temple, I just can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was, I mean, he stood out to me, man. He seemed a little fluent. You know what I mean? I don't know. I gotta look into him now, but I think he's more like a third or fourth round pick. He obviously isn't high in the standings, but I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of teams out there that's in the same position as me. They GMs, they just don't want them to make the safe pick. Just like I'm pretty sure Jay Mitt, you in the same boat. Like you wouldn't be happy at 3 if they took fucking a tackle.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, a lot of people trying to put a tackle on my team. I'm like, this is the kind of draft, man. I'm not taking no tackle at 3. Sorry, I'm not doing it. Like, why would I take a tackle at 3 when this class is deep at tackle? And I could just take one at the 34th pick in the second round. Like I'm not like if like I need some kind of impact quarterback player or 3. If I'm not drafting a quarterback, then I'll trade back and just accumulate more assets, and then figure it out from there. But a tackle at 3 for me is just not. I don't want to do that.
It's not reasonable.
No, it's not, because there's too much talent in this draft to be drafting a tackle at 3. It's just too much. So,
but I mean, so I heard that we could talk about this real quick. The Chicago Bears. I heard that uh they went to interview him or whatever. They went to sit down with Caleb. That was kind of like the only person they really came to see what they need to do with the first round pick. And I heard it's felt that they possibly gonna look into trading it. How do you
Man, who's
feel
talking about
about?
the Bears?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. I've heard both. I've heard both things. Like I've heard they were trying to see what the trade market for Justin Fields was, and there's only really two teams that's interested. It's the Vikings and the Falcons. Like other than that, and I mean, like I guess they had hopes of getting a first round pick, and I seen reports that that's not going to happen. I could have told them that months ago. You're not getting a first for Justin, bro. I don't. I
nah,
just
second
especially
best.
especially not from the Falcons at number 8. You're definitely not getting number eight. I could have told them that before they went to the combine. Now, honestly, I don't even if there's only two teams involved. If I'm one of them two teams, I'm not even gonna give you a second. I mean, like, I might give you a third and a sixth, and you might have to be happy with that, to be honest. Because they in a sticky situation because if they do draft Caleb and they still got Justin Fields on the team, it just makes
Now
it
his value dropped.
yeah, his value drops. So it's just like, and the thing is, like, I think they might be better off waiting until free agency opens because once free agency opens, because they also said that Kirk is like the Falcons and the Vikings are interested in signing Kirk back. So I mean, you got
Ooh,
you got one chair. So one team is going to not end up with Kirk Cousins, and so that team might end up doubling back to the Bears and saying, well, since we ain't get Kirk, like we need to get Justin Fields. And
yeah.
then so I mean, like then they leverage they who knows they I don't think they're gonna get a second round pick, but they might be able to.
I think at that point, yeah, you can get that 40th pick from the Falcons.
It's
You
possible.
probably get that. You probably get that second and maybe a fifth, and eat. You know, you saying you're gonna have to eat that, but I don't know, man. I think you get more value out of the first pick with the opportunity to still be able to get. I know the quarterback class next year is kind of poo.
Yeah,
Um, but I'm kind of at the point where like I think they might do it. I think they might go ahead and do it because I don't think they wanna hitch their wagon to Justin Fields. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hitch their wagon to Justin Fields and possibly lose their job on a guy that ain't they guy. But I just don't know where he goes, man. I just don't know where he goes. And obviously you said it's two teams, so I'm assuming Atlanta. But then what does Atlanta do at 8? Do they get some offensive line help now? Or do they go get another or do they go get Malik Neighbors like I've heard everybody say they're gonna do?
I don't think Neighbors gonna be there at 8 if they stay at 8. I think Neighbors going to the Giants. To be honest, if the Giants don't draft a quarterback, I think they're taking Neighbors because they have this history with wide receivers from LSU. So I I mean, I'd be very surprised if Neighbors was there at 8. And if Neighbors is not there at 8, I think they're taking a defensive player. Like I think they're taking like a Dallas Turner, kind of player. And if they don't take Dallas Turner, I don't know, maybe if Roman Doomsday's there, they might take Rome instead of Dallas Turner. But the thing is, like with the coach coming in as a defensive minded coach, and the defense was pretty good last year. It was definitely an improvement from the previous year. So to me, I think they're going to take someone like Dallas Turner, who also had a good
He
combine.
said he said he there for he said the reason he's there is because of bad quarterback play.
Yeah. So I mean, I think they're gonna try to solve that at free agency as much as they can. Like the problem is at
If
8,
not, they in the trade of talk. I know
yeah,
that for sure.
yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm just going by the saying that if they stay at 8, the best quarterback they're gonna get, it might be JJ McCarthy. Like the rumors are JJ gonna go in the top 10. But JJ not the kind of guy that you want to draft if you're trying to win right now. Like he's a 20-year-old kid. He's gonna be 21 when the season starts. And he's just more of a developmental piece. Like if you draft him, you gotta let him
His
sit
interview
out
process killed me
over him.
when they asked him if you see your favorite wide receiver in one-on-one coverage, could you check him into a fly route? And that man said, "I wish."
What you mean? I wish.
That's what he said. That was his answer.
I
I
mean,
wish.
yeah. I mean, maybe at Michigan, like he wasn't allowed to freely audible. That's the only thing I could take out of it.
But that would kill me if like, bro, that's like Devontae Adams over there one on one, and you don't check into a 7 or a 9. Like, I'm
I
gonna
mean,
be
the only
pissed
thing to
as
his
the
defense,
receiver.
the only thing to his defense is he hasn't literally had the best wide receivers when he played at Michigan. So, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
only thing I could say. Um, but yeah, like he's more of he's more of a project to me. And if you draft him, you're not playing him right away. I mean, there's a couple guys that could go in the first round like that. Like, there's a few guys that I don't think should play like Drake May. I don't think he should play right away. I don't think he should be playing week one of
Do you think it's
the.
a good idea he's not doing any of the combine?
I mean, he know he a top 3 guy, so I don't really have no issues with Caleb, Jaden Daniels, or Drake May not doing none of the combine stuff because they know they going top 10, and so they could just do all that stuff at the pro day, and that's it. Like, I mean, Drake May, like the misinformation I'm hearing on Drake May every day it really is kind of interesting, to be honest. I mean, there's good reports and there's bad reports and there's another good one and a bad one. So it's like you don't even know how to take all these reports, man. Like there's some saying that the Commanders got them number 1 on their board, the GM and the coach. There's other reports saying that they don't. But I mean, it's like what I say, man. Like this is lion season, man. Like you can't believe about 25% of the stuff that you're hearing. That's just the reality of it. So,
All right, funny question, real quick. What do you think Nate Wiggins faked the injury to keep the 4.29?
no, I don't think he did that thing. I mean,
I heard somebody say that. I was like, nah, ain't no way that man faked no injury, bro.
man, I mean, I watched him getting helped back into the locker room, bro. He didn't. That ain't the way he was limping and what he said to the reporter, like while he was limping into the locker room, ain't what you saying if you're just trying to fake an injury. Like, I mean, like the man said, like it felt like it was on fire, and like it happened to be like I think
Said
it's
I
like a
felt something pop. I was like, oh man. It's
I mean,
crazy that you run a 4.29 like that, Mick, and then you also hurt your draft stock at the same time.
I don't think he hurt his draft stock to be. I think he's still a first round pick. I don't think.
It depends on what the injury becomes. If it's
I
a
mean,
simple hammy, cool.
nah,
If
they
it's
didn't say.
something more serious,
Nah, they said it's like a hip flexor. It's not a
I'm
hammy.
on at 22. 22 corner. If it's cornerback, give me Terrion Arnold or
Terry ain't
give me.
gonna be there.
He
Terry ain't
probably
gonna be.
not. I've
Terry
seen a couple mocks where he did, but if not,
that's,
you can give me Quinyon Mitchell, or you could give me Rakestraw from Missouri. I wouldn't touch Kool. I just don't like Kool-Aid, bro. I'm sorry.
I mean, Kool-Aid is cool. I don't think he's a bad player. I just think the hype around him is a little bit much for me. Like
It's the damn name, man. It's the name.
I mean,
Damn name.
I mean, he was good at Alabama. He wasn't the best. Obviously, Terry on to me had the better season. But if I was but I mean, if I was in the opposition, like I would draft Mitchell out of Toledo, man. Like that kid,
If
like
he had 22 though, I think he might have ran his way out of our reach.
yeah, I mean, he's 6 feet, ran a 4.33.
4.33. What?
He ran a 4.33, and then if you watch the drills, he was really good in those drills. Like, and
Smooth.
like for me, the 40, like I like the 40 cool. Like, I mean, that's more of like performance speed and actual football speed to me. But like, especially for the DBs, I really be looking at them drills, and like
I look at that 10-yard split too.
yeah. I mean, because the 10-yard split's important. I mean, for most of these guys, I mean, no matter what the position is. But for me, it was the drills, man. Mitchell was real smooth and like those drills, like he didn't have stiff hips or none of that stuff. And then that's what I'm looking for because last year when we got Christian, I watched Christian in the combine. I seen his film, and I mean the film I liked, and I seen him in some of those drills, and I mean the dude was smooth, like his hips weren't stiff.
But I got a
Real
question for
smooth
you.
drill.
When you watching Mitchell tape though, do I gotta grade it at a angle because he played for Toledo?
I don't care. I mean, the thing is, I don't care who you're playing. You still got to dominate who you're playing against. And from some of the games that I've seen with him at Toledo, I mean, like they weren't, he wasn't getting a lot thrown on him, and when he was making plays. And so to me, when you package that together with his performance at the Senior Bowl, like his Senior Bowl tape was good too at the practice. He was dominating the wide receivers that people got going in the second and third round. So yeah, so I mean, I ain't got no questions about Mitchell, man. If he's there at 22, I think you got to take him.
Jigga said a trade up package for Reddit to get verse. Mm, shit. So you trade a team Reddit. But what I gotta trade? I gotta trade top what? At least top 15?
I mean, you're
Minimum?
gonna, yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to give up a pick too.
Somewhere
But I mean,
between 11 and 15 is where I gotta probably get to even have a chance.
don't y'all got 2 second-round picks anyways?
Yeah, we got two. 50 and 54.
I mean, you might be able to package Reddick in a second to get up to get verse. But I mean, like, there's some marks where I didn't seen verse fall. Like, I didn't seen verse fall to like the late first round too, though. Like,
He
these
did pretty
marks,
good though at the combine too though.
yeah, these are
And
marks
then
that
how
got
he was doing that weight like it was a child was ridiculous.
but I expect verse to be like that. But honestly, like, I think his teammate from Florida State had a much better day than he did, to be honest.
Fisk.
Yeah, boy, but that boy, he was on some shit. He was on some shit in that combine, like from the 40 to the drills to to the other to all the other stuff. Man, I mean, I watched some of his film. I knew he was pretty good. But like when you mirror that with the combine shit, like, I mean,
I think
buddy,
Fisk might be a combine demon though, y'all.
he was a combine demon, but if you watch the film, he was making plays at Florida
Now
State
he
too.
made some plays. No. Like, come on now. You know I'm a Florida State fan, so
Yeah.
he make plays, but the way he showed up at the combine, you would think that boy was going
I mean,
stupid.
he was on some shit at the combine. I mean, that's all I can say. And even the drill, like the drills, like the defensive lineman did, I liked them on the drills too. So it wasn't
They
just
say
the
he might
fit.
have moved himself into the mid first.
Yeah, I think he could go in the late first round. Honestly, I had him pegged as maybe a second. I mean, before the combine, I had him pegged at maybe like mid second, maybe late second, maybe early
Some
third. But
people got him
after,
at like 25 now.
yeah, I think it's a good possibility that he could be going late in the first round. And I think it's not even out the court. Like, there's certain teams that got defensive linemen they got to re-sign, and if they don't, they might be looking at him. So, yeah,
It's an open market too. Like, it's gonna be a lot of people that you like. It's gonna be a lot of people on the market fending for money. You know what I mean? They're just trying to look for the best payday. So you're gonna see a lot of players possibly go to teams that you don't expect just because of what they get offered.
yeah.
I guess I'm trying to see who go to Chicago because Chicago got some money, man, to put an extra piece on that offense.
I mean, I
They
think
not.
Chicago got like 60, 70 million to spend. So they
I
they they
think they
got
got more. Yeah, they got like 70 something, almost 80 something million. Like
yeah, that's what I was
they
off.
could
Yeah, they have 78 million to spend. The Commanders got 91.
they could easily go in and make a splash play for a couple players quick.
But that's my only thing about free agency this year. Like, other than the wide receivers, there's not a lot of guys that I really want to pay a boatload of money to be honest. So it's like there's a lot of money out there, but what are teams going to spend this money on?
I mean, running back, you don't really want to invest too much bread in running back.
But like, if you sign any of those top five guys, like if you sign like uh Barkley, or you sign like Pollard, or any of them top five guys, like, you're probably going to be paying them like 9 to 10 million a year. That's probably what you're going to have to, especially Saquon. I think Saquon's going to get that. He's going to get the 9 to 10. I don't think there's a question about that.
I think,
But
but I don't think he wants that though. Cause didn't he turn down a deal from the Giants for that price for like 11?
well, I mean, he wants a long-term deal. Like, he don't want a 1-year deal. Like, I think he wants like a 3 to 4 year deal, because he hasn't. You got to remember, like, he's never had a second contract. He played on his rookie deal, and he got franchised last year. So he wanted a little bit of security. Sometimes all these players want just a little bit of security. Like, they're not asking for no, like, especially running back. They ain't asking for like 8 years, 8-year contract and nothing like that. Like, they probably just want a 3-4 year deal. Like, kind of what Jonathan Taylor got in Indy last year. Like, he got hurt in the preseason. He didn't play the first 4 games, and I think he ended up getting 3 for 42, or something like that. So I think he ended up making like 13, 14 a year. And I just think that's what Saquon looking for. And if I had a ready-made team like the Texans, I wouldn't mind giving Saquon 12, 13 million, to be honest, because you're not paying your quarterback. They got
Yeah.
a bunch of cap space. So
You're not paying a lot of guys on that team, to be honest.
yeah, I mean, you're not yet. I
A lot
mean,
of your
like,
top talent is recently draft picks.
yeah, so I mean, like, they got a lot of young players. They got a bunch of picks in this year's draft. I mean, the Texans is going to
I
upgrade.
believe it, Jigga. I believe it, bro. I believe they gonna put their foot down. The owners, they're not giving up 10.
Oh, so there was a report coming out recent, like 10 minutes ago, that the Bears are close to trading Justin Fields to the Falcons. Pretty close.
We knew it. That 40th pick going to them, man. They finna take Caleb, man. They finna mess up a lot of teams' dream.
Well, no, I mean, I never thought Caleb was in reach for us, man. Like
No,
for us,
not you.
I
You know
mean,
who I'm talking about.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know who I'm talking about.
I mean, but the Commanders, I mean, now they got the ball in their court. Like, are you going to draft Drake May? Or are you going to draft Jaden Daniels? And like I said earlier, I seen reports with the GM and the coach. They like Drake May number 1 on their board. I don't know if that's true because you never know if that's true. So
yeah,
I mean, like whether my team gets Jaden or Drake May, I'm gonna just be fine. Like, obviously we all know I prefer Jaden Daniels, but if we get Drake May, I'm not. Whatever quarterback we're going to get is better than what we got on the roster. So I don't really got an issue with it. So.
I think it's an opportunity, man. To shit. I think he needed opportunity, and I think the Chicago Bears need the same opportunity.
Yeah. But I mean, like the one thing I will say is like, I mean, going back to the Eagles, if they draft a DB, like there's a couple of DBs that I liked at the combine. I'll give you a couple names. So the kid I had knew about before, because I mean, he played at Boston College. His name is Elijah Jones. I mean, the boy was like that at the combine. He had a really good day yesterday. I was hoping to kind of get him, slide him in the 4th or 5th round, but I mean, with his performance yesterday, like that's just not gonna happen at all. Like he had a really good day. His tape is good. I mean, his film is good. So I think he's a guy that people listen to this that y'all should look out for. I mean, your team might decide to draft Elijah, and I think you're gonna get a good guy in Elijah. And I think there's like 2 more guys I'll mention. Right, there's a guy named Max Melton. He's out of Rutgers. He had a great day too yesterday. His film is good too. And I mean that's another guy. And then the third guy is this guy named Daquan Hardy out of Penn State. So I mean the main guy out of Penn State is Kalen King, right? That's the guy that people are excited about going into the season. Kalen King, like there were rumors that if he could have left last year. So if Kalen would have left last year, Kalen would have been a
his
first
40, bro.
Yeah, I'm not down on Kalen though. Like I mean, like he was one of my downs yesterday for the DBs. But I mean, I would take Kalen King on my team. Like I get it, his 40 time wasn't that fast, but
Wasn't that fast? Would you like to tell the people what his 40 time was?
I mean, his 40 time was 4.6. I mean, I get it, but he still got good tape though. Like, he got good film, and I get it. He ran a slow 40, but I mean, you got to put it in perspective. Like, not every corner is going to run a 4.3 or 4.4. Like, it's just it's not going to work like that. And like I said, there's a difference between football speed and performance speed.
But okay, game time. I mean, we got time. Look, for safety, totally different. I mean, maybe now I'm looking at Kitchens a little different though. Maybe Kitchens ain't in the corner. Maybe he not. You know what I'm saying? Out there at the corner. I mean, King. Maybe Kalen King could transfer to safety. Safety speed is different. I don't really need your 40 time to be kind of all that.
Yeah, but
when I'm putting you 1-on-1 out there with fucking Justin Jefferson, dog, I can't have you running no 4.6 and getting smoked up.
Yeah, but you got to put in perspective. Like Puka Nacua had 1,400 yards. He ran a 4.6 42 though. His 40 wasn't quick, but he was still getting
how he got. But look how they utilized him. He wasn't fast. He was quick. So they put him in a lot of those quick situations where he 1-2 step. I'm in my road. The ball coming.
Yeah, but
now I just got to make a man miss.
Yeah, but I mean, he was still beating dude. Like I get an example, like in that Lions game in the wild card round, he was still beating the corners deep though. That's the thing. Like it. So I mean, all I'm saying is like for me, I wanted Kalen King. Like we don't have a supreme need at corner because we're pretty set at corner. But I think we're going to draft one later in the draft. And I'm just, I don't never pray for no one's downfall, but I just think.
So where you taking Kalen King at? 3rd round?
I take him in. If he's there in the 4th, 5th round, I'm gonna take him there.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that 4th round, yeah.
True. But I'm not gonna take him in the 3rd. I'm gonna say that. Not, I mean, not after his performance yesterday. I just think that's kind of tough to do, and I don't think a lot of people are going to do that. So I think you can wait on them. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there are certain guys that I look at in the combine where like they have bad combines, and I'm kind of selfishly happy. I mean, for my team because our first 3 picks are going to be on offense, and I've already come to that conclusion. But we do have secondary needs at like defense that we need to fill later in the draft. So some of these guys are going to fall, and so that's what I'm looking for from the corner position, because I mean we could add at least one corner. So
I'm hoping my coach don't get pressured into taking the name,
yeah,
and you know
and
who I'm talking about.
yeah. And this, so I mean, like for the people, I'll also give you 2 other corners that had good days yesterday. Like Cam Hart out of Notre Dame. I mean, he's a kid to watch out for. He has a capability to be really good, his size and strength. And then you got the kid out of Michigan. His name is Mike Sainstrill. I think that's how you say his name. He's out of Michigan. He had really good drills yesterday too. So like those are some corners that I think that kind of like made their stock go up. Like after yesterday. So I mean like those are some guys that you might have, like if your team need a corner, you might want to keep your eyes on those guys.
I just hope first round pick you don't take fucking Jeremiah Trotter.
I don't think Jeremiah Trotter going in the first round.
I'm just talking about pressure, man. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just don't know. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking about all the possible solutions. And I just, like you said, I'm selfishly hoping some things play out. So then it makes it a little easier when you go into the draft to pick BPA and not just go out there and try to fix a need, because that's what you're hearing in the media, or that's what you're hearing from the front office. Want you to be able to go out there free, feel safe. But I don't want you to go to free agency and jump eagerly to, draft one of these older guys to try to bring them in either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be patient with the shit.
Yeah, man, I feel what you're saying. I mean, for me, like my issues, we got so many needs on offense early in the draft that we got to address some of the needs. I get you want to draft best available player, and that's the strategy that you want to have. But in certain situations, like my team is in, you really can't do it. Like you got to, you got to choose at the quarterback position and try to get that quarterback settled. And then the second round, go for a tackle, and then you can hit. Wide receiver in the later round. So.
When you're in a rebuild though, you sometimes you can't BPA it. Sometimes you gotta get the best player available for your need.
And I mean, like, so that's what I was saying, because it's like if you're in a rebuild and you don't get the quarterback, every year that you don't get the quarterback, you're adding another year to the rebuild. That's just my opinion. So that's just what they got to do. But yeah, I mean, like this draft should be interesting. Like, watching the D line and the edges and the linebackers day one was really eye opening for me. I didn't think that. I mean, there was a lot of talent at those positions. Well, not that there wasn't. I knew there was talent, but I didn't think the talent is what it was after watching that and then watching some of their film, because like some of their film in the combine shit, it didn't match up. So I mean, now I got to go back and watch more film on these guys, because I gotta think to myself, is there something that I missed, or is it just that these offensive players are just that good?
I guess we was wrong, bro.
What?
The Texans have released that they are not expected to pursue Mike Williams.
Oh, Evans, yeah, interesting.
Mike Evans, my bad. Mike Evans.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's a good spot. Like I hadn't. I mean, like the only name that the Texans were really linked to was Saquon. That's the name I heard them linked to.
So that means that must mean they kind of in a favorable position with Nico then.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, Nico needed an extension too, though. Like, I think he going into.
That's what I'm saying. I guess they're in a favorable money wise. They might be in a more favorable position with Nico.
Yeah, and just reading from the chat, Alex. So I was just talking about corners. So I didn't even get into the safeties, because I mean, Kitchens and Williams are safeties. I didn't really touch on the safeties as much. But I do feel like there's a lot of talent at safety too. I mean, Cameron Kitchens is, if he's not the corner number 1 in the draft, he like corner number 2 or number 3. So I mean, Kitchens, I mean, I think he's going high. I mean, he got a.
Hey, what do you think about Kirk Cousins going back to
the Vikings or Washington? I mean, to me, the Commanders are in a position like the Patriots are in. Like, they need a lot on offense. Like, they need a whole new line. At the wide receiver position, they're pretty good. I mean, like, they could draft another wide receiver, because I think Scary Terry's come up on the last year of his deal soon. I mean, they released a tight end yesterday, so they're gonna probably need another tight end. if they sign Kirk Cousins, I mean, it would allow them to draft a quarterback later in the draft, and like it would allow them to draft maybe a guy like Rattler in the second or the third round and sit him behind Kirk and get him ready. And once Kirk his contract is up, he could go. I mean, I do know that a lot of some Commander fans don't like Kirk Cousins, as they wouldn't want to see him back. But I mean, I don't see it as a bad move. I mean, you sign Kirk, you draft a quarterback later in the draft, and you can address your offensive line and some of your other needs, and you could build up the team. So,
how do you feel about Giants rumored to be trying to trade up for a quarterback?
I said it earlier. I think it's possible. Like I've heard a lot of Giants fans that they like Jaden Daniels. I've heard some Giants fans saying that like Drake May. And if the Commanders don't draft a quarterback, I mean, the Giants and the Commanders will probably never trade together because they're in division. So I don't foresee that unless the Giants give them an offer that they just can't refuse. But I mean, it's possible. I mean, like we could trade with the Giants. I mean, we've done a lot of trades with the Giants. Like, I mean, even though the Giants beat us in 2 Super Bowls, I mean, we have a good relationship with the Giants when it comes to trades. So I mean, if we trade back to 6, I guarantee you the Giants are taking Jaden Daniels. I can guarantee you that, and they can sit him behind Daniel Jones for like a year.
That's kind of where I was at. Like I've been listening to the Giants fans kind of discuss why a few of them don't want to take quarterback this year, and they like we in a position where like our starting quarterback is 30+ million to do this year. Like, how do you sit a guy when you paying him that much? And they like I would prefer to just get some more weapons. See what James if he can improve off of getting more weapons, right? And then next year, if the situation comes, if Daniel Jones is as bad as we think he is, we'll be back in kind of the same position again next year, anyways, to take another quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, the Daniel Jones thing is interesting, man, because you can go at it so many different directions. Because like they got out after after the 2024 season. So that's what I'm saying. Like they could draft Jaden or Drake May and they could sit him behind Daniel, let Daniel play. And if they're not happy with the results, then you got a guy right behind him that you could just insert. He would have sat for a year, he could have learned the system and all that, and you'd be good. Or they could just draft a wide receiver. And then the Giants also got 2 second-round picks. So I mean, they could even add more in terms of, or maybe they don't draft a wide receiver. Maybe they draft a tackle because I mean, Evan Neal has not really panned out for them. I mean, because I think I took him top 6, top 7 a couple years ago. And so if you take a tackle, you can move Evan Neal to guard, and you can, so that might be a better place for him. And that might make your offensive line a lot better.
How much of the cap you think they would have to eat to get Daniel Jones out of there?
What I mean, this year, like right now?
Not saying like cutting them, but if somebody, let's say for instance, somebody was like, we would take him, how much of that you think they would have to like eat of that 30 million?
I think he's got a lot of guaranteed money that they'd have to eat. Hold on, let me look. Yeah, Daniel Jones. If they were to cut him, his like, I mean, it would hurt them like 22 million against a negative 22 million against the cap if it was a pre-June one. If they were to cut him, and I think it works the same way if you trade him. I mean, like you still got to carry that. I mean, like that like dead money cap hit of like 22 million.
Y'all can work that out though. Y'all can work out the dead cap hit or whatever. You could take some of it. They could take some of it. I know you could do that.
Yeah, you could. Like I said, like I would just run with Daniel Jones this year. Like you can always draft whoever you want to draft and just have him sit. Like,
yeah, but what if he ball out? What if Daniel Jones? Let's say for instance, you draft Jaden Daniels, and then he go out there and go stupid.
If he ball out, you could always just trade Daniel Jones. I mean, his value would be high enough where you could trade him. It wouldn't hurt your cap, and you could get a draft pick, from him. Like, I mean, if he has such a good year. Or I mean, so either way, like it's a positive thing. I mean, either way, like I would just keep Daniel Jones. If you want to draft a quarterback, draft the quarterback. Let the kids sit. I mean, like especially if you draft Drake, because Drake may not that old. Like, or you draft like a JJ McCarthy, who's not that old. Like you could draft some of these kids that are younger, and just sit them for a couple years, and just see what happens. So
true. I think the Saints might be in a situation to trade up.
I mean, the Saints are at 14, man. Like, I don't. I mean, I've seen them mock to a Brian Thomas, like a wide receiver. They really need a quarterback. But I just like they might be able to get JJ or maybe like a Bo Nix kind of guy. Like I don't want to put Bo Nix on anybody in the first round, but those are some guys that you could get and you could sit behind. I'll sit behind Mr. Carr, and I mean, like,
But Mick, I think that's the best option if you take Bo Nix though.
What? Yeah, but the thing is, you don't want to sit Bo Nix either because he's old. Like I won't say
No,
old.
no. I don't want you to sit him. I think the best option is to take him in the first round. And I ain't saying like early first, but you gotta think who's gonna want to pay when he get that first deal. Who's gonna want to pay you at 29, 30?
Yeah, but the quarterback position is different though, because quarterbacks tend to last. I mean, you can last longer as a quarterback. It's not like a running back or a linebacker. I mean, like, and you got quarterbacks that's played 15, 20 years.
It depends on how he playing at 32, though.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's not so much the age with Bo Nix. For me, it's it's the kind of. So he was bad at Auburn, and then he went to Oregon. He balled out. There's a lot of speed at Oregon. It's a lot of speed. It's the scheme of the offense. I think a lot, and he had a lot of wide open throws.
Somebody said he needs the Kyle Shanahan offense to be successful.
Probably so, but I also don't think when it comes to Bo Nix, like you're not getting those wide open throws like you did at Oregon. You're not getting those in the NFL. You got to fit stuff into tight windows, and I don't know if he could do it, to be honest.
It looked like he can't do it though. Like just watching him at the Senior Bowl, just like mixing with it, I'm like, dang, that was bad. And I'm like, that's a simple throw. Like, but
yeah, I mean, he definitely have a good Senior Bowl. So
hopefully is he working out with the quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think Penix is throwing, JJ's throwing, and Bo Nix is throwing. Obviously Caleb's not throwing. He's not doing anything.
Penix will push his draft stock up because he'll be the best thrower at the combine.
Yeah, I mean Drake May and Jaden Daniels are not doing anything. So I mean, well, I don't say anything. I mean, like they're doing the interviews and stuff, but they're not doing anything on the field. So you're gonna. I mean, at like 1 o'clock when you tune into if you watching the combine today, you tune in. You're gonna be seeing a lot of Penix, a lot of Bo Nix, a lot of Spencer Rattler, a lot of Sam Hartman, a lot of Joe Milton. That's what you're gonna see.
What you think about Joe Milton? You think he's a late draft pick?
I mean, I think he goes in the 4th, 5th round, man. I mean, to me, he's got a great arm. You know, he's got a lot of mobility, but the boy just don't put no touch on his throws. And in this league, you can't be throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs when I mean, like you're throwing a 5-yard out or like a slant. Like you really, I mean, a slant is cool, but like he doesn't have any touch on his throws. Yeah. And so for me, that's an issue. Like he doesn't throw the ball at different speeds. It's just all one speed, and it's like it's coming at you at 100 miles an hour. And I mean, I've seen quarterbacks. He
kind of had that problem in college with his throws.
Yeah, I mean, like
they put him on that.
Yeah, like a couple years back, like we drafted Ryan Mallett, and I knew that was the issue where he had a great arm, but he didn't have any touch on his throws, and it never got any better. And so that's just something that you got to be careful. Like Joe Milton, to me, I wouldn't mind taking him in the 5th round if you need a backup. Like, I mean, because I heard Bills fans talking about taking Joe Milton as like drafting him later in the draft as they backup instead of paying, I mean, veteran quarterbacks all this money because I mean, like they're in a cap situation. So I could see, I mean, doing it that way. So,
hey, what you think about this Christian dude that they say possibly could run a 4.1?
Christian who?
Coleman or something like that.
Is he like a running back or a wide receiver?
Wide receiver.
I mean, so I was having
he supposedly ran a 4.1 already at his like
pro. See, I was having this conversation with my homeboys last night. Just about draft and 40s, and if you look at it, a lot of the wide receivers that be running these really fast 40s, they don't really turn out to be what you think they're going to be. Like a perfect example is John Ross. I think John Ross ran like a 4.2.
4.22.
He never really amounted to anything.
Listen. Think about this, J. He got hurt right in the last game before the season ended in college. Yep. He runs the 4.22, jumps his draft stock into the top 10. He gets injured running the 4.22, and then he never stopped being injured. Like I don't know if that 4.2 speed is actually good for you or bad for you because it seemed like all the dudes that run that 4.2 be hurt.
I mean, but that's my whole thing when it comes to corners and wide receivers. Like, I'm not big on the whole, oh, I ran a 4.2 40. Like, it's
You
great
run
that
a
you got the
4.1
speed.
though.
I mean, 4.1 is great, but can you catch the
4.1
ball?
anything.
I mean, that's great, but at the end of the day, like, okay, so I mean, so I know you can run like a go route. That's cool, but like,
Yeah.
that's the only word where that speed translate is to a go route. I need to know, can you run? I mean, like, can you run a slant? I mean, like, can you run a dig route properly? Like, how is your route tree? Like, I need to know. Just because you run a 4.1 don't mean that you got a full route tree. And if you don't have if me as a defensive back, and all I know is that you can run as a go route, then I mean, like, I mean, 90% of my job is done. Like, if I'm lined up against you, I know you running the go route because you can't
Well,
run nothing
look,
else.
he not just 40-yard fast. He ran a 6.4 in the 60-meter dash,
It's pretty fast. I mean,
and
maybe.
that was Olympic official time.
I mean, maybe he should be on the track team for the Olympics then, because
No, he tried out. He I think he was a part of their team.
yeah, I mean,
He
for me,
world
like,
he won the world championship this year against Noah Lyles.
yeah, so
He's from Tennessee.
yeah, I mean, like, the speed is cool, but like like I say, like, the 40-yard dash is cool, but I mean, like, I mean, my thing is, like, I mean, let me see you in the drills, bro. I mean, let me see you in all those wide receiver drills, and I mean, like, how you run your routes in those drills, and I'll make my determination after that.
Yeah, me and you more logical though, but you know what happens with when another team gonna see a 4.12, or let's say Vince he don't want a 4.12, he run 4.1 anything. Everybody eyes gonna light up.
But I don't think he's going in the first round though. Like, he's not, to me, he's not a first round wide receiver. I don't care if he run a 4 flat.
He
He's
might he
not.
might he might second round himself though, because I don't think he in this even in the second round right now.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of talent at wide receiver, and I don't even think he'll get drafted in the second round. Like, I just don't see it. I just think this year, if it was a different year, maybe if it was last year and he ran that 4.1, he might have could have go first round because the wide receiver talent wasn't that
Well,
great.
it's gonna depend too, because what if he have a good 3-cone shuttle, all that? If he really show up,
I mean, if he really show up, he might go in the like. I don't know. I just don't see him going in the second. Like, I if he has a great combine, he might go in the third. I think. I don't say might. He'll probably go in the third. So,
mm,
but
that
yeah, I
kind of
mean,
I think that'd be the first person to run under what 4.2 that don't go first round.
yeah, I don't think anybody's ever run under a 4.2 though. I think the fastest time is a 4.2. To be
Oh
honest,
well, that'd be the first person 4.2 or uh
because I think
anything that didn't go first round.
what John Ross ran a 4.22, and I think Chris Johnson ran a 4.2 as well.
Seven.
A 4.27.
4.27, 4.2, yeah, 4.27.
Yeah, so I don't think anybody's run just a flat 4.2, or if they have, I just cannot remember it. So
Nah, nobody ran under John Ross. He's still the record.
yeah,
But that boy Nate Wiggins, man, 4.29 yesterday was pretty decent.
oh yeah. I mean, the board was. I mean, I thought he run fast. I was more surprised by Mitchell running a 4.33. Being 6 feet and running a 4.33 is kind of crazy. And I
I'm
mean,
hoping he didn't run it. Listen, if that's the cornerback that's available when it's my turn to pick, I'm very okay with that. I hope he did not run his way out of my reach.
yeah. So it's just like, yeah. I mean, like, Mitchell was like, I really liked him at the Senior Bowl, so he was really good. Like, so I didn't really know too much about him before the Senior Bowl. Seen him there.
Exactly. And
I
he's
mean,
steady moving up the charts, bro.
yeah. I mean, like, his performance off the Senior Bowl alone had me having him in the first round. And then what he did yesterday with the drills and the 40 and all the other like, like the testing, yeah, like, he probably a top 25 pick. Like, I mean, he's edging this. He's trying to push himself into that, like, CB1 situation. He trying, but I mean, I don't think he'll quite get there, but I mean, he's I mean, definitely gonna be
Exactly what
good.
I asked you earlier is why I think he won't get there.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I just like Nate, like Nate, like, if you Nate is like, he didn't weigh in that much. Like, I think he's real light. Like, he's like 175 pounds. So I mean, that does concern me about Nate. But if
Yeah,
you
I don't.
watch Nate's film, like, Nate doesn't take a misstep, bro. Like, he just doesn't. Like, he's taking all the right steps. My only issue with Nate Wiggins is his tackling. he's not exactly the best tackler. So
Emmanuel Forbes got me scared to take dudes under 185. Man.
it depends. I mean, like if you're taking a guy that's 5'8", 5'9", and they 180, I'm cool with it. But if you start taking corners over 6 feet and they're not over 180, like that's kind of concerning to me a little bit. But
I don't know. I think Mitchell, he came in maybe a third round pick to the Senior Bowl. After the Senior Bowl, he skipped the second round, moved straight into the first round. And I think he's probably moved himself kind of like you said, top 25, and he trying to do everything he can, maybe possibly to get in the top 15.
yeah, to be CB1, yeah, he tried. Because that's the other thing is like a lot of teams talk about taking all these wide receivers, but then like a counteraction to that is that if a lot of teams are taking wide receivers, then other teams are gonna start taking corners. Like it's just the way it works. I mean,
Right.
so I mean you got to consider that. And so I mean you got guys like Nate Wiggins, you got Mitchell, and like and then you got the kid out of Rutgers, Melton, and a lot of other guys that performed well yesterday. So I mean, there might be a situation where other positions get pushed down because people are drafting so many tackles and wide receivers. And
I
it
tried
might
to tell somebody that. I said, bro, what happens when it's like a bunch of those dudes get ran off on in the first round and you get into that late half of the late half of the first round and you looking at top 10, top 15 picks sitting there.
yeah, I mean, but there's also the theory that like everybody in the draft knows that there's a lot of wide receivers. So the wide receivers, I mean, outside the tier one guys like the Roma Dunzeys, the Marvin Harrisons, and Malik Neighbors, outside of those guys, like everybody knows there's a lot of wide receiver talent in the draft. Those wide receivers might get pushed down too, though, just because of the simple fact that everybody knows there's a lot of wide receivers, there's a lot of talent in the draft at that position, and they might not. They might not feel the need to draft guys in the first round because they're like, well, I can just wait to the second, or I can just wait to the third. There's enough guys there that I could draft. So I mean,
So
you got
do you think outside of quarterback, wide receiver will be the biggest run?
I like what I got right now is I've got projected about 5 wide receivers to go in the first round. So I got 5 of those guys. I got 4 quarterbacks in the first round. And I think I got about 4 or 5 tackles to go in the first round. And obviously the combine's still going on. I mean, I'm still making judgments and stuff. But that's just what I'm looking at. And I just like I said, like I think there could be a chance that a lot of these wide receivers, a lot of us they might go later just because of the quantity of wide receivers in this draft. Because teams might just be like, well, I can draft a D lineman here and I could just wait. Or I could draft an edge and I could just wait. Or a corner, I could just wait.
That's what
And
I
that's
kind of said to myself, bro. It's so much talent that you could take the best player available in the situation and still wait and possibly get just a good production from a player in the second round. Like it's just that deep.
yeah, that's
Ooh, Daquan Harris.
that's one of the guys I said to watch out for, actually.
Yeah, he decent. And he had a pretty good performance at the combine.
Yeah, I mean, he ran a good 40 time. I think he had a good 3-cone drill. His drills are really good. Like that's what I'm saying earlier. The funny thing is, Kalen King was the guy that everybody was looking for Penn State, and then for me, Daquan Harris had a much better day. And so I got to go back and watch more of that Penn State film and watch Daquan because I think he could be a really good corner in this league. I think so.
Where you got him at? Where you got him third round?
Before the combine, I had him in the mid to late. I had him in like a late day 2 pick, which is like 4th round, well, 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round. It's somewhere in that range.
Oh, you got him a solid third rounder?
Now I think he kind of he might be a 3rd round pick right now. But like I said, I got to go back and watch some of the film and see if the film matches up from what I seen at the combine yesterday. If it matches up, I think he could be a 3rd round pick, a 3rd or 4th round pick possibly.
Yeah, that's what I'm at with like 3rd rounder. He's a project. But I like how aggressive he is a little bit. You know what I'm saying? To be usually the second guy is the one that's a little bit more passive. He's a little bit more less swag. But I think he got overshadowed because of the name on the other end of the ball, Kalen King, who's kind of been touted as one of the best corners for the last 2 years supposedly or whatever. So
yeah,
I think it's a situation like that where the dude you played next to just had a bigger name than you, and you just didn't get the looks.
And I just think because they said he'd have been a first round pick last year. Like, and that happened with Mingo too. Like some of these corners, they come back for another year, and then they're like draft stock drops. And so I just think that you got to be, if you advising these guys or these kids, like, and you know you got to be careful about that because I mean, like I said, Kalen King, he comes out last year. I mean, he's if not a first round pick, he an early second round pick. And now, I mean, we over here talking about he might not get drafted to the third, fourth, fifth round. So I mean,
I think he ran himself out of that first round. I ain't gonna lie to you.
He
didn't do good at all at the combine. I ain't gonna need to say running the 40. His cone was bad.
Yeah.
His backpedaling and shift was just bad. It was just bad.
I mean, in the middle of the season, I had him in the first round, and then as the season went on, I was like, he probably not going first round. I had him more of as a late second round pick. And then, you know, after all this, I mean, I still think Kalen King. I think if you draft Kalen King and you put him under the right coaching, I think he'll be just fine. So he'll be fine. Like I think someone's gonna get a steal with Kalen King, and you know my opinion. I think someone's not gonna draft him to the third, fourth round. And they're gonna get a steal, man. Like I mean, they're gonna get a really good player. I mean, just because you don't if you don't test well in terms of performance wise, and you know in these drills and like these testings, like it's not the end of the world in terms of you being a football player and succeeding. And then that's just how I view Kalen King. Like I would love to have Kalen King on the Patriots. I'm sure you wouldn't mind having Kalen King if you drafted him in the fourth round.
100%. Take him. No, I think he's a good prospect, Mick. Like I don't think he's bad, but remember I told you like a couple weeks ago, like it's always that one guy who possibly could be a top pick, but hey man, I heard it. I heard they've been talking to I heard they on the phone with the Broncos, man. I don't know if I want another old dude though.
Oh, you talking about Justin Simmons? I mean, Justin Simmons ain't
been on the phone with him.
He's not that. I thought Justin Simmons was only like 26, 27. He's not old.
29.
Damn, he older.
28, 29.
Oh, damn, I thought he was 26. 27, something like that. Well, could be mistaken.
You checking?
Yeah, damn, he is old. He's 30. Damn, I thought he was younger than that. And they've been trying to play that for about
I don't know if I want another old dude, man.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Simmons, I don't know. I mean, he was supposed to get traded last year. He didn't get traded. I mean, he's not a bad player though.
No, he's not a bad player. No, he's not.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I want another old dude when I'm trying to like kind of solidify something in the defensive side. He's gonna be another moving piece that you got to replace in what 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I mean, the only position
1 year fix.
Yeah, I mean, the only position I'll touch on briefly is the tight ends. Like watching that because I had to watch the replay because I was outside last night. So when I got back on like the I was on again, so I watched the part I missed about the tight ends. Ain't that many tight ends, but I mean, like the three guys that caught my eye. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to speak on Brock Bowers and Travion Sanders because those are the guys that everybody know. Like those are the guys I expect to go 1-2.
Travion is Texas.
Yeah, Texas. I mean, I mean, his 40 time was kind of slow, but I'm not like he still probably gonna be the second tight end taken off the board. But like the three guys that caught my eye were pretty much Theo Johnson, who I had my eye on him at the Senior Bowl because he played at Penn State. So I've had my eye on him as a later pick, maybe third, fourth round pick. And that boy tested crazy. Like he had a crazy test. You know, like he had a good Senior Bowl. So I mean, he was good. The boy out of K-State, Ben Sanat, he was really good too.
Ben Sanat, yeah, I like.
Yeah,
Sanat.
he was really good. And then my third guy that I really liked was the kid out of Florida State, Jaheim Bell. Like Jaheim. So Jaheim. I mean I've liked Jaheim during the season. And I liked him yesterday. Like he tested pretty good. I mean, he wasn't bad, and I like what I saw. So
my problem with him is he's just not a great blocker all that well, but I like his hands. I like his ability to go get the rock.
Yeah, he's not the best blocker, but I think I think he can get the job done. Like some of the guys that I didn't really like at the tight end position was the kid out of Colorado State. Boy, he was. I mean, he's a good. If you're just looking for a receiving tight end, then cool. But the way that he, because I'm like, I got this thing called a sled. I mean, for people that don't know, and the way that he was pushing that sled, I'm like, this dude can't block. Like, and the film show it too. So I didn't think he had particularly a good combine. And then like the tight end out of Washington too. I mean, he's got good hands and he's fast. He's more of a receiving tight end, and he just, I mean, I just don't know. Like, I don't see him as so much of a blocker. So like those are the. I'm not saying they had a terrible combine, but those are the guys that I'm kind of down on a little bit after watching it last night. So
Yeah, I like Ben Sanat. I definitely like him. I don't know where people have him at. I got him somewhere in like the third round. I think he probably third, fourth rounder. But I think he's a serviceable tight end that you can bring in, and you can build if you already got a solidified one. He could be a great building block for a guy that's older, like the Eagles, where you kind of don't, you kind of getting ready to move off a tight end possibly in a couple of years. You come in, bring him in, and he could solidify the tight end room. So I would like
yeah,
Ben Sinat. I also like um dang it. It wasn't too many tight ends. Tight end room. The tight end draft is
yeah,
trash.
it's kind of slick. I mean, like at the combine, they only had like 13, 14 dudes working out. And if you compare that to the DBs they had over 70 guys working out. So just compare those numbers. But we just had some news drop actually. Caleb Williams got measured and he came in at 6'1". So that's
Ooh.
I mean that's because he was listed at 6'1", so that's important. He came in at 6'1", 215 pounds. So I mean, like that was the question that everybody was asking, and then like Roma Dunze also came in. He came in at 6'2" and 7'8". So I mean, Rome is pretty much. I think he was listed at 6'4", so he pretty much 6'3". So
Did you think that hurt Caleb Williams at all?
no, because he was listed at 6'1". I thought he was going to come in at like 5'11", 6 feet. That's what I thought he was coming in at. So as long as he's over 6 feet tall, he's good. Like I mean, Caleb is 6'1" and an eighth, so he's solidly a 6'1" guy.
Do
So I
you
think.
think do you think that came into the Bears before and then they was like, all right, we calling Atlanta?
I mean, even if he was 6 feet, it wouldn't have mattered. The only way it would have mattered is if he was 5'10". Like if he was 5'10", then it would,
I'm just
like
saying, you think they got some type of news and they was like, all right, cool, we calling Atlanta now.
no, I would just think I would want Caleb anyways. Like it to me, it's not just the play on the field, but it's the financial part of the NFL where you keep Justin Fields, man. After this year, you got to pay him. You don't pay him, then you have no quarterback.
Do
Versus
you
you,
think do you think he's in conversations with Atlanta about getting an extension?
if you trade for Justin Fields, you're gonna have to pay him. I'm not giving you a third round pick or a second round pick and not paying the guy. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I think it might be. I'm not saying like. So let me just caveat this. I'm not saying he's Russell Wilson, right? But it's a Russell
So
Wilson
not big boy
situation.
deal. Not
Yeah,
big
when
boy.
you trade for a quarterback and you gotta extend him. Like I don't. It doesn't make any sense to trade for a quarterback. And obviously, like the return is not the Russell Wilson return where they got first round picks and stuff. But if you trade for him, you gotta extend him because if you don't, you have
So
no
what
quarterback.
would you what would your ideal amount of time would you put into it? 3 years?
I mean, I would give him the Daniel Jones contract. Honestly, I give him a
You
4
give
year
him
deal.
4 with the 2 out?
Yeah, 2 out. That's what I would do.
I think I'd give him 3 with the 2 out.
I mean, giving them 4 just spreads out the money more. That. I mean,
Yeah,
that's all.
that's it. But I'm not giving you that much money in the first place. So I'm not even giving you close to 40 million.
You're probably going to have to. I mean, 40 million is a low mark right now for quarterbacks. I mean, you got to understand like that.
Yeah, but I'm a listen, me personally as a GM, bro, I'm in there like your record is horrible.
Yeah, yes,
Look at your stats.
yeah, but we always say that on Twitter is what we always say, man. Wins is not a quarterback stat. That's what everybody says.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say this too. What other position can you search on Google as a position on a football team and it bring up their record? It's only
But I
one
but,
quarterback.
but I could also say with just if I'm Justin Fields' agent, I could also say it's not my fault that the team was horrible. The old line was horrible.
They're
Had
gonna
no
look at
wide
your
receivers.
stats.
The defense, yeah, but that
And
goes to the offensive line and the wire. Like literally before um this past season, his best wide receiver was was Mooney, and Mooney ain't good. And
well,
so,
this is their best offensive line, right?
well, yeah, I mean, like this past year, and I mean, Justin Fields had his best year. I mean, all I'm saying is paying a quarterback $40 million, like Carr got $36 million. Like paying a quarterback $40 million ain't really nothing, to be honest.
But
Like,
didn't Carr got a little resume, a little baby resume, but he got a little resume. He took
I
his
mean,
team to like the playoffs, and you know what I'm saying. He had a couple 3,000-yard passing seasons, things like that.
I mean, if you want to call that a resume, that's up to you. I'll leave it up to you. To me,
I said a baby resume, like where he kind of go in with a little bit more of a,
I
I
mean,
don't
but
know, and then
you just gotta look at the market though. Like Kirk is aiming for 45, right? You know, Burrow and Herbert and all them is getting paid 50. I think Lamar getting paid 50. That's like they're you know, Josh Allen getting around 50. Like those are the top 5 guys. And so, you know, I mean, let's say Kirk get 45, and you know, I just think Justin he can ask for 40.
I
I
think
just think
Jalen in there too, right?
I think Jalen makes under 50 though. I don't think he makes
No,
50.
he 55. He 55.
Actually, he makes more than that. You know, what I mean,
Yeah, we
you're right.
signed him to 5 years, 255.
Yeah, like I would just give him the Daniel. Like I said, I give him the Daniel Jones. Give him the 4 years to me, letting out the cap hits, and you know, give yourself a 2-year out. And you know, if he's great, you can always give him an extension in 2 years, and give him the money that he's earned, and you know you can go from there. But yeah, like I mean, you're gonna have to extend them. So I mean, I always thought Caleb was going to the Bears. It's to me, it's more of a, you know, Caleb got some people giving him the generational tag, and then you get 4 years of a cheap contract, and
I don't even think it's a look. I don't even think it's about the generational. I would just not want to put like looking at Justin Fields is like cool. You've been here, whatever, whatever, whatever. But I wouldn't want to hitch my wagon to you, and then next year we blow it, and I get fired on the house with somebody that I ain't picked. I might as well just pick my guy and take my chances there, and my leash a little longer because I got a fresh quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So it's really a rebuild. I think it's better for both teams, to be honest. I think Raheem Morris and Justin Fields might be able to go over there in Atlanta and maybe put something together that works a little bit better for him. And you know, I think that the Bears need to go in their separate ways and maybe start over, even though they start over a lot. No,
I mean, the other thing people don't like, a lot of people that don't know Justin Fields and his background, man, he's from
he
Atlanta.
from Atlanta.
He's from Atlanta, so he essentially going home.
Yeah.
But the only thing I say about going home, man, there's a little bit of pressure to get attached with going home, man. Like you go home, your family there, you ask me for tickets all the time. You know, I mean, like there's a little external pressure to play better because you're playing for the hometown team. So, I mean, you got to put that in there too. So,
It's gonna be interesting to see how this offseason play out for a lot of teams, bro. Because there's a lot of teams that got to make some crucial moves due to you know being superiorly over the cap. Um, I want to see. I'm interested to see like the Bills. You know what I mean? Like people, you know, look at them as a contender, but they got a few pieces that they got to figure out. You know what I mean? And they got a few guys that might be disgruntled with the organization that don't want to be there. And Gabe Davis is a free agent. And, you know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
Gabe ain't coming back, bro.
That's what I'm
I'm
saying. But then you
he,
also got Stefan Diggs who possibly don't want to be there. So now are you gonna change? You're gonna have to change the whole.
See,
You
I'm
think
just
so?
not buying. I mean, it's like the yearly offseason thing where we say, oh well, you know what's happening with Stephon Diggs. Like he ain't left yet. The way
I ain't even looking at the fallouts though, Jamie.
I
I'm
just don't
looking
think
at
he's
what me
going.
and you looked at when we
I
was
mean, I
looking
just
at the
don't.
stats down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean the stats down the stretch weren't the greatest, but I mean, but you can attribute that to them getting a new OC and the OC trying to figure it out on the fly. So I mean, I'll give them a break on that. I just with letting Gabe Davis go, they can't afford to let Stephon Diggs go. It's not just the money, but it's the impact that he has on the offense. Like, even though his numbers wasn't that great going down the stretch, he still requires a certain amount of attention. Like a lot of teams are going to put a safety over the top of him, and they're going to make you beat them with somebody else. And so you subtract him off the team, then other teams don't got to do that no more. So yeah, so I just think Stephon Diggs, like his cap hits too much. It doesn't serve them to just, I mean, let him go. So I think we do this for the last 2 seasons, man. We've been doing this, and I just he to me he's not going nowhere. And the other thing about the Bills I'll say is, I mean, what and what's old boy name I can't remember his name, but like he ain't had no
With who?
sacks last year. Like he was coming off injury.
Von Miller.
Yeah, but Vaughn. Like I anticipate Vaughn gonna have a better season, man. They might have rushed him back a little bit too quick. I just don't think he's gonna have another season where he don't have no sacks. I just don't see it. Like I think like if he has one sack next year, he would have literally had a better season than he did in 2023. Literally one sack. So I'm not saying the man gonna get 16 sacks this season, but I can see him anywhere between 5 to 7 sacks. I mean, if not more than that. I'm gonna be conservative because I don't know how he's gonna be, training coming off that injury. But like I assume he's gonna he's gonna make more of an impact. And I mean, honestly, all the Bills got to do is restructure Josh Allen's contract, and I mean, restructure a couple deals, maybe cut Trey White, and they're right under the cap again. So, yeah.
I wanted to see how. I wonder how this plays out by the end of the day. I think we're gonna get some news on a couple situations here, man. And I'm pretty sure once Justin Fields is traded, then you're gonna hear a lot of more teams kind of solidifying who they taking because you're gonna know Caleb Williams is pick one.
Well, I think Caleb Williams is pick one regardless whether the Bears traded or not. I don't.
No, obviously, but I'm saying now you know the Bears are locked in at pick one. It won't be a trade, so you know no teams won't be moving. It's solidified unless it's something we don't know and they go and do some craziness because they're the Bears.
But what that means is now the Commanders and the Patriots are open for business. That's what it really means. Because I didn't see reports where the Vikings are trying to get up to 3 because they want Jaden Daniels. And like I said earlier in the week, if I got to trade back to 11, you going to at least have to give me 2. And I ain't talking about the swap. Like we obviously going to swap 11 and 3. And what I'm saying is you're going to have to give me 2 more first round picks at least. I want 2 first rounders.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, not just the 2. I want 2 future firsts. And then you're going to have to give me some picks this year. Like you're going to have to give me either your second or your third this year and maybe your second or your third in 2025 to get up to 3. That's what, like if I'm the GM with the Patriots, like that's my, if you call me on the phone, that's what I'm starting out with. If not,
AJ, you ever think we'll see another Ricky Williams type trade?
If the Commanders, if somebody wants Drake May or Jaden Daniels that bad, and the Commanders ain't sold on either one of them quarterbacks, and let's just say Kirk goes back to Washington, I can see a situation where someone trades up to 2 and they get a haul. I could definitely see it.
Do you remember what they gave up for Ricky Williams?
They gave up their whole draft board. I don't think.
Listen, they gave up the whole draft and they gave up a first and a third to follow.
Yeah, like I don't think anybody's ever going to give up their whole draft board for a year.
Well, now you got comp picks and stuff like that they didn't have back then. So now you got extra picks and.
Yeah, but you can even trade comp picks. So I get
they
that.
They gave up their whole draft, but I think it was only like 5 picks.
No, I'm like so that's my thing. Like I'm not giving you my whole draft board this year. Like we we can spread it around. Like I give you a couple picks this year, a couple picks next year, maybe in 2025 or 2026. I could do that. But I'm not giving you my whole draft board. Like this, especially in this kind of draft where the talent is way too much just to be giving up my whole draft board.
I wonder once they traded Ricky, did they just like, all right, let's go home, y'all. We ain't got no more picks.
I mean, well, they were probably already in their war room anyway, so
they were just hoping Ricky fell right where they needed him to.
So let me say about Ricky Williams, man. This is kind of off topic, man. Ricky, I hate the Miami Dolphins. They're in my division. I hate the Dolphins, right? But the reality of it is, like Ricky, and I'm not even a UT fan or nothing like that. But Ricky was so raw, was so great of a player. Like I used to root against the Dolphins, but I always like Ricky Williams, man. Like I like this is some singular talents in the league. Even though they play on your rival team that you play in your division, but I can still respect the player though. So
right. Well, man, we at the hour 20-minute mark, man. Next week we're gonna be a little late. We got a big mock draft. 10 team mock draft, man. We're gonna do it live right here on the Chrckdown. Me, J Mick, and eight co-hosts, I guess you would call them, or guests, however you want to call them. Yeah, they're gonna be here, man. We're gonna draft it up, man. So y'all be on the lookout. We're gonna look at doing it probably around like 12, 1 o'clock. You know what I mean? So we're gonna be a little late, but we're gonna do some promotion. If you on Twitter, we're gonna be putting it out. if you got your notification bell on here, I'll put a post out on YouTube sometime this week, let you know what time, let you know what teams participate and put out the flyer and everything like that. So y'all be on the lookout for all those things. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun one. If it goes well, man, we probably looking at doing a couple more parts of the draft and bringing in some different teams and seeing how that works out, man. Because we want to see everybody draft boards and we want to have a little fun with it, man, with some of these extra teams and these other teams. Because I think the cast we got for this first one is legit, man. I think y'all gonna be entertained, man. And it's gonna be a fun one, man. We gonna get it in. It's gonna be some trades. So the draft is trade eligible, but we are gonna do the trades backstage. We don't have time to be on here for 7 hours trying to get people to trade their picks back and forth. So that's gonna be interesting, man.
Yeah.
And if your team is one of the people that's in, I'll tell y'all now who we got. If your team is one of them, you come in and help your conglomerates draft the teams. Right now we got Giants, we got Eagles, we got Saints, Bucks, Raiders, Commanders, Chargers, Patriots, and Colts in right now. So if your team is one of the teams that's drafting, you listening back to this, man. March 9th. You said now I ain't gonna give you a time now. Right now it's looking like 12. We're looking at 12. That's kind of like the best time for everybody. So we're gonna get that going, man, and we're gonna appreciate y'all for coming out. So if you want to support like I said before, if you want to support, we're gonna try to do some of these giveaways sometime here before the season start. Maybe season opener. Pick one lucky fan, man. Maybe we could do something special for y'all. But
Yeah.
I'll get with the conglomerates of the show and see what we want to do.
Yeah.
But the super chats are available, man, moving forward. So if you want to help speed up that process of those giveaways, man, help us out. We help you out. We love y'all. Y'all love us. Until next time, man. Y'all know what it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Say one thing real quick. So I mean, like, so my boy Al's got a podcast. Like, so I was a guest on his podcast last week. His podcast is and we got time. So I mean, y'all can support my boy too. So yeah.
oh yeah. Hey, he always here every week too, man. He in the
Yeah.
comments. So if y'all wanna see him, he right there in the comments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He right there. So
Yeah.
y'all go follow him up, man. Give him some follows, man. Show him some love, man. Hey, we all out here to support each other, man. Until it's
And
over.
like that, and I mean, like, and I mean, like, his podcast is solid too. So I mean, like, yes, I mean, like, yeah. I mean, let me check him out. So
All right, man. Hey, man, we gonna get into that. Hey, y'all, look, y'all Eagle fans. I know y'all love me, so go ahead and do that for me. It's about 5 of y'all in here right now. Go ahead and give him the sub real quick. He already in the comments. He here every week. He supporting. Yeah, man. Until next week, man.